What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Gearheads Garage production. And in today's video, we are going to be working on the Nightmare. We haven't worked on her in a long time, so I want to get cracking. So, yep, stay tuned. So what we're going to be doing is replacing the ignition switch, which, if you're not familiar, is that little black module piece that goes right up underneath the key switch where you put the key in the ignition. So I've already got it partially all the way out. I pretty much just got it laying here for demonstration purposes only. So I mean, I can pretty much explain to y'all how it went together. So let me get set up here and we'll get to going. Alright, so I have a few tools here. I choose my Black & Decker electric impact simply because it makes it a lot faster, a lot easier. You could obviously use, the good old-fashioned ratchet. There is no problem with that, just I like a little bit of power, honestly. But yes, step one is this plastic piece right here is what covers all this up, and it's pretty much a whole bunch of little clips that stick into the upper part, but the lower part you will be having to get out 4 7mm screws, which obviously right up, right there, and then there's 2 more on the other side. Once you have that off, it's a good idea to pull your cluster out because you're going to have to move this anyway. But then you have, this piece right here, which goes right over here. It covers up this plate. This is pretty much your air duct. Not really your air duct, but it's a plate that covers up all of this stuff. And those are going to be your 10mm bolts that screw in right there and right there, and then it's the same on the other side. You take those 10mm bolts out, that plate comes out, everything's good. So, alright, so this part is going to be a little bit more complicated to show y'all, more or less explain, but I lost it for a second on the camera. Where is it? Ah, crud, I'm going to have to find my angle again. Okay. Do you see that little metal bracket right there that I have my finger pointing on? That bracket holds that piece of plastic right there on. It's a 7mm screw. You have to screw that out. You get to it on top of this bar right here, which is your main dash support. And then after you do that, this piece up, where is it again? This piece right here, this screw right here that I'm twisting, that's also a 7mm screw. This right here screws into this piece right here. This is your ignition switch. Well, not the ignition switch itself, but what connects everything to, whatever. And you take this out, it might take a little bit of adjustment to get it out, but you'll eventually get that out, get it pulled down here, unhook everything, and then the whole entire switch pretty much snakes itself on up around to the dash right here. And then I had to cut one zip tie because this right here, which is your ignition switch harness, was zip tied to this. So I had to cut that, which that snakes all the way around to the other side of your dash to this piece right here. So, alright, so I probably should have mentioned this before. It's all good if you want to rewind, fast forward this video, whatever works. To get this panel off, which is what covers up the bottom of your steering column, it is a, it is a T25 Torx bit. And there's one right here, and there's one right here. Take both of those screws out, and the whole thing just, well, it fell off for me, but you might have to wiggle a little bit, whatever have you. But yeah, still don't have a clue how informative this video is going to be, but I'm trying. But okay, and right here to the main ignition switch itself, there is a screw right there, right where my fingernail is, and there's a screw right there. Now that screw, I watched a video on how to do this myself, and he did not specify this, but it's this kind of a screw. This is a male torque screw. And I don't have the exact socket for this, but what I found that worked is this little bit right here. Don't ask me what it is, cause I don't even know. I just got smart and I was like, I wonder if this would work. And it did. This is nowhere near the right tool that you need. It would be very much of a benefit to have an actual Torx bit to that fits that screw to do it. But this, for me, this is just what happened to work at the time. So yeah, that, I mean, it just barely fits in there just enough to pull it loose and to tighten it. So yeah, you take those two out, and then there is a white piece. Hold on. Alright, this is really hard to see, but I got the best angle I could get. But do you see that that plastic piece right there that's about the center of the screen? That right there is the connector that goes from the key switch itself to the switch. Not the key cylinder to the switch. And what you do is you take the tail end of that where the wires come out of it, and you gently tug to the right, and you turn it about 90 degrees, and it pops out. And then once you have that free, then you take them two screws out, you know, like I showed, like I told you, and the box will come right out. And since I had already pretty much halfway done all of this before I started filming, I will take y'all step by step on how to put it back in. So let me get it out the rest of the way, and we will get started. Alright, so I got this, the switch part and everything mounted back up and got it all screwed in. It's pretty much a plug and play. And well, maybe that would help. Any rate, so I got everything all squirreled back in there after I gave it a thorough not a duct tape, an electrical tape job, which I thought it was lacking very much. And I did forget to mention that on this little block right here, you do have one connector on either side, and you have to remove those to remove the switch harness itself. To get my flashlight set up here, I will show you that in order to take these off, if you see that little split right there, you have to put a little flathead screwdriver into that piece right there and pry up gently and push up, push this way on this, and it'll come right out. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Scratch that. Push it down, and it'll come right out. And it's pretty much the opposite, you know, push up, put it back in. So let's get this bolted up and see what we got. Alright guys, so I've got everything, like I say, snaked back into here, up over this bar right here. And as you can see, peek in through right there, you see that is the switch itself, and that is, and I will show you guys now that I can maybe get a better view of it. Yeah, see that little bracket right there, how this bracket right here, that plastic piece just slides right into that groove after you work at it a little bit, and then that plastic bracket is what holds your switch together, like so. So before I put everything back together, we are going to hook the battery back up. And you know, every time you work on your vehicle, it is a very smart move to disconnect the battery. So just thought I'd FYI that, just in case, you know, someone doesn't know. But yeah, let's maybe try to fire this thing. See if that's what fixes this thing. Alright, here goes nothing. Just my luck, battery's dead. Alright, so got the old Jeep hooked up to it, jumping it off, see what happens. Alright guys, so I am over my excitement period. Time to put this thing all back together now that it actually works and it runs. And I don't know if you guys know this, but this truck hasn't ran in about a good six and a half months. So hearing this thing fire, it was pretty exciting. But yes, on with the install. If you see that, hold on, where is it? See that bolt right there, the black bolt? That right there is another 7mm screw. You put that, where in the heck? All right, that's better. That's what fastens that plate to that plastic, or the plastic piece to the metal plate. And then that's pretty much all for that. Mainly it's just reassembling, you know, the black piece and stuff like that, and I'll show you all that as well. Alright, so I've got my T25 bits back in it, my screws back into here holding this thing together. And now I've got my 10mm for this plate right here. I'm gonna get it all secured and I'll get back with you. Alright, so got my plate back in, got my 4 10mm put back in, and I guess the final step is, you know, putting these little modules back in right here, which you snap in with little clips, and you know, putting your two dash panel pieces back in, and you are good to go. So yeah, I hope y'all found this video helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. I had a good time with the outcome of this video. But and also, if you're stopping in for the first time, you know, consider subscribing. You know, it helps the channel out, you know, whatever have you. So yeah, I will see y'all in the next one.